Hey Soul family, welcome back to the channel. This is the White Feather Tarot, and in today's reading we're taking a look at your shadow as it answers a burning question on your mind. To do this reading we will be pulling out 3 cards from this deck. If you of course prefer to pick your piles using your zodiac signs, you will find a timestamp for that down in the description box. Okay, so let's find out what today's cards are. For pile number 1, you've got Fire Horse. For pile number 2, you've got Metal Tiger. And for pile number 3, you've got Fire Rat. If you prefer to pick your piles using your crystals, let me add these for you right now. There we go. So for pile number 1, you've got the Mahogany Obsidian. For pile number 2, you've got the Tiger's Eye. And for pile number 3, you've got the Mookaite Jasper. So take a look at which one of these 3 piles you're the most drawn to, and this will be the pile for you here today. In case you feel drawn to more than one pile, maybe even all of the piles, trust your intuition. It will always guide you to the right readings. So let it lead the way. Whether you're drawn to just one pile, several, or maybe all, let it show you what you're meant to hear with regards to today's reading. And once you're ready, you'll find the timestamps down in the description box, which will take you straight to your reading. Also, please note that in a moment I will be assigning different zodiac signs to each pile. And so if this is something that you do not prefer, please pause the video and take as much time as you need. But if you prefer to pick your piles using your signs, then my dear soul family, as you know, this part of the introduction was created specifically for you. In a moment after the shuffling, I will be drawing out 4 signs for each sign. Actually, I think I have 4 in my hands. That's right. Let's start with pile 1. The signs for this pile are Virgo, Taurus, Scorpio, as well as Aquarius. For pile number 2, 1, 2, 3, and 4. The signs are Sagittarius, Libra, Cancer, as well as Gemini. And the signs for pile number 4 are Aries, Pisces, Leo, as well as Capricorn. So, my dear soul family, these are the zodiac signs and their association to each of the piles in today's reading. Please feel free to pick your pile or piles using your sun, moon, or rising. I highly recommend you check out the 3. Alternatively, if you prefer to pick your piles using other placements in your chart, please feel free to do that. As I always remind you guys, these are just different ways to make it more enjoyable and easier for you to pick your pile. Once you're ready, you'll find the timestamps down in the description box. Click on your times and I will see you in your readings. Hi, pile number 1. Welcome to your reading. Today we're taking a look at your answers regarding a burning question on your mind that your shadow is answering for you. So to do this reading, these are the decks that I'll be using. If you're interested to know the names of any of them, you'll find that I always list them down in the description box for you guys. Okay, so very quickly, let me introduce your pile to you. Your crystal is the beautiful Mahogany Obsidian. Your significator card is the Fire Horse with the keywords effortless vitality. And if you've picked your pile using your zodiac signs, then in that case, the signs for this pile are Scorpio, Virgo, Aquarius, and Taurus. Welcome to your reading. If these are not your zodiac signs, please don't worry about it. It's just another way for others to pick their piles as well. Follow your intuition, and if after the reading you felt called to watching the pile with your zodiac sign, you can always do that. Okay, so these are the oracle decks that we have, the oracle cards that we have for your reading today. Obviously, the first one showed up, and you've got time. There we go. So some of the keywords here are zones, fourth dimension, AM, PM, countdown, deadline, slow-mo, death row, bomb, space-time, overtime, and so a split-second history, light speed, memory, time machine, so on, clock, calendar. Okay, so time. And you've got character. Okay, time, and we've got character. Right, you've got playfulness, Venus in Sagittarius. How can we put this? Let's put it here. Playfulness, Venus in Sagittarius. You've got key, the hidden secrets, discovery. Okay, very nice. I think this is going to be a really cool reading. And you've got the Thurisaz in reverse with aggression, conflict, and trouble. All right. Right, you've got the Emperor in reverse. That's definitely aggression. Emperor in reverse. Okay, or using your power in the wrong way or something. You've got the King of Pentacles upright. So how about the reverse? We keep them down and the upright up. You've got the Lover's card in reverse. You can see the Lover's card in reverse is succumbing to the temptation. Okay, you've got the Temperance card upright. The King of Cups in reverse. Even the Thurisaz rune is in reverse here. Oh, I also see this one, and this one moved, so we'll keep them to the side for now. you've got the Ace of Cups in reverse. You can see constantly something about taking something that you desire almost by force or aggression. Okay. And finally, your last card on this row is the Magician. Oh, reverses down. Is the Magician in reverse. That's definitely using your powers for the wrong causes or in the wrong way. Right, let's keep this one on top and see what this is talking about. We'll figure out your question in the moment, and the key here is the answer to your question. But it seems to me that your shadow is talking about how you are maybe using your power to go after your desire, but it's talking about how you are getting your desire, King of Cups in reverse. You're getting your desire in the wrong way. Perhaps you're too attached to it, or you just want it, I don't know how to say it, at any cost, or sometimes even that cost could be yourself. And like you could be putting aggression towards yourself, like pushing yourself far, or feeling like you want it so bad to the point where you're really pushing yourself, maybe others for some of you, to do something. It has to do with time. Maybe you're racing time, or you feel like you're running out of time. But character here could be either you or others. It depends on what this wish is. You could be pushing yourself or pushing others without realizing. And so your shadow is showing you that you are tilted toward it to achieve something that you want. And I feel like your shadow in this area has to do with, you feel like there's scarcity of time. You're racing time. In any case, there seems to be a little bit of an aggression going on. Because with Rindir, this is the woman who Odin unfortunately misused, did not treat well, because a vulva or a witch told him that a child would come who would bring the rights back of his son Baldura, who died. So he knew he had to have this child with Rindir, and he tried to attract her several times. She was not interested at all. And so out of desperation, he got her pregnant when she didn't want to. So yeah, there's aggression there, you see. And for a lot of you, character here could be you. It doesn't have to be, it could be somebody else, but it could also be you. So do you see the Lover's card here? You're making choices of following your temptations. Following your temptations because you really want something. So what is your question then? What's your question? What is this about? And what is your shadow trying to show you? Here, I can see that you have the power, either way, with the King of Pentacles and the Emperor, to get what you want. The thing is that your shadow wants to show you you have in your hands the resources and maybe the time, if this is what you're concerned about. You have everything in your hands. Maybe you don't realize that there is another choice, another way of getting what you want. Let's find out first, is this character you or somebody else? 5 of Cups in reverse. No, that's not in reverse. In reverse is flowering here. Is knowing that you can regrow something. Okay, one more card. King of Swords in reverse. Yeah, I really feel it's not about someone else. I think this could be, yeah. This, for most of you, your shadow is showing you that you are hurting yourself. You're disappointing yourself. Because with the King of Swords, you're an intelligent person, but you're using your intelligence in the wrong direction. You're too focused on the loss rather than being focused on how to make it work for yourself. So we do have a key here, and it's Venus in Sagittarius. We'll get to it in a moment after we explore your reading, getting to your question. What's your burning question? Your burning question seems to be, how do I get this? 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 And so your shadow here is showing you, in a balanced shadow, your shadow, the awesome thing that your shadow wants to let you know. Do you see the amount of power in your reading? King of Swords, King of Pentacles, King of Cups, Magician. Overall, there seems to be very powerful cards. In fact, the Thurisaz is a powerful rune. And so, first thing I'm definitely seeing is your shadow saying, hey, you can definitely use me, but you want to use your shadow in the light and not in the darkness. And so your shadow saying, I am powerful, you can use me, you can get what you want so bad, but it's about how to get it and not whether you can get it or not, because you can definitely get it. How you get it is the key, and how you can use your shadow, because it's got that powerful, you can sense that there's power there, and you're absolutely right about that. Your shadow can help you, does have power, but it's how to use it in the correct way. It's that opportunity for you to unite the shadow with the light, right there with that very wish that you have. It's really interesting. I wrote in my journal something this morning. I was channeling. I usually draw a little something in my journal in the morning, and I just channel something. And one of the quotes that I channeled, hold on, let me try to get it. I'll just show you very quickly, but I'll read it out to you. So what I channeled this morning with the drawings of the paws, I wrote, privilege is given to you to achieve your soul purpose. A wish for a privilege is a compass to take you towards your purpose. And the challenges are your soul's desires, disguised as monsters, forcing you to slay them, to reveal the magic. It's your passport to a higher realm. I don't know why I wrote that, but I found it to be interesting. Sometimes I just write whatever comes to my mind, and I find it interesting that it's connected here. It's that your shadow is showing you that you can use it, that the very thing you are trying to achieve will be the very thing right now that aligns that shadow and light. So what you're desiring so much is your soul's way. It's like your soul's way of pushing you towards your soul's purpose. It's also it's like there's a monster standing in your way. It's not happening. That is designed so that you can slay it, and that is a way for you to integrate your shadow and light, and for you to have this passport to move on to other realms, so to speak. So it's a great opportunity for you, is what I want to say with your shadow. And it's interesting. It's almost like I channeled this for this pile, because every morning, believe me, I don't know what I'm going to write. I don't have ideas. I don't have a specific thing that I'm thinking about. Just in the early morning, as I'm drinking my coffee, I start drawing, I get into that zen, and then I just channel whatever comes in my mind. So it's interesting that this came out where your shadow here is showing that it's an opportunity to use this desire and use your shadow, because it does contain that power. But if you decide to do it in the light, then you would have integrated that shadow with your light. That is right there an instant transcendence in your spiritual journey. Instant gained power is no longer hidden in your shadow. You have access to that power of you, in your case, getting the knowing and learning how to get your desires right away, or timing right away. So character is perhaps talking about your key to character growth, and not having to get something in a way that you might regret later. Because if you make the wrong choices for yourself, that could lead to more trauma maybe, or more hate, more anger, more resistance, more suppression of the shadow, and so on and so forth. And so your shadow right away showing you that this is an opportunity. You have that power. You don't need to suffer through it. So let's now start exploring what your shadow is showing us and how to bring it into the light. If you notice, the only cards upright are the King of Pentacles and the Temperance. The rest of the cards here have presented themselves in reverse. Even your rune. And so let's read the upright cards as your guidance. These, this one, and these. You will find your power if you do things in a balanced way. We'll explore what balanced way means, but that's the key here. Doing it calmly, and Temperance here is like, you want to be balanced in everything. You want to be balanced emotionally. You want to be balanced in the effort that you take. You want to be balanced in your energy. And you want to be balanced mentally. So let me put the 4 elements, the air, earth, water, and fire. So let's use the ones we have in our pile. We've got water with Scorpio. We've got air with Aquarius. We've got earth with Virgo. We don't have a fire in that pile. I can borrow from the next pile. How about we do that? Let me take Sagittarius. I'll put you back. So these are the 4 elements to balance, even when it comes to the Magician, by the way. But the highlight here is on the balance. 4 elements in the Magician, I mean. So here, you want to balance your 4 elements. There's definitely an emphasis on balancing the emotions, which we'll get to in a moment. We did see that you have, emotions, 5 of Cups, disappointment, sadness, and the air, the mind as well. So we know we have, we've been shown here that there is air. There is the Emperor, earth, the 4s, earth, imbalance there. I think with the fire, I know the triangle and the square is a symbolism in the Temperance card, but I am picking it up intuitively that your passion towards it is balanced. So the fire element here, your passion towards this is beautiful, is the thing that is actually helping you manifest this. You just want to manifest it in the right way, obviously, but because of the fire, because of your passion, this is actually going to manifest for you, by the way, either way. So let's now explore the 3 other elements that need to be balanced, because if you balance these 3, you're set out to not just get what it is that you desire so much, which is written for you to have, but you will be able to achieve it as you integrate your shadow and light. It's like you getting your passport, unlocking a new door of being able to achieve the things that you want, transcend, and have a better life overall. Let's talk about the cups and the air together. Sorry, the water and the air together, because they seem connected. So let's keep that there for now. Let's talk about these two first because they seem to be greatly connected. So the passion is in the right place. The water and the air. And it seems like it's the thoughts that make the wound in the cups even more intense. So there seems to be a shadow in the area of disappointment. So the great attachment to that desire stems from a previous experience of having lost something dear to you and having cried over it, understanding that things could slip, that things could drop, that you may not get something that you really want, or having it being taken from you specifically. Exactly, having it being taken from you specifically. So on top of that emotional wound, which is where that attachment is, there is the mind that is fueling that wound to grow even bigger. The mind with the King of Swords in reverse is negative thoughts. What is negative thoughts? It's like, it's probably not going to happen for me. Stemming perhaps from the same wound. It's not going to happen for me. I'm going to lose it. Or something like, if I don't go get it, it's going to finish. It's faster than me. I'm going to lose it. So be mindful that there is an underlying root cause in your shadow that could be the very reason for attachment here. And so, to bring balance in these two connected areas, the water and the air, we must... So the passion is in place. The passion is so strong with the alchemy. It shows you that it's so healthy, so strong, that whether these things are resolved or not, you're still going to get it, by the way. Remember, it's how you get it and how you learn to get it with ease moving forward. Okay, so let's reverse these two that your cards are discussing so that we can take a look at the resolution that you're being guided to do with your emotions, the water, and the air. Do you see how the lotuses are on the upright, showing you that it's normal for things to go through difficulties before they rise up and blossom. So first off, accept emotionally the fact that most things take time and go through challenges, and sometimes through things that may look so muddy that it could convince you that it's not going to happen. Accept that as part of any process. Anything that we learn, anything that we try to achieve, it's how we grow. That's how plants grow, from the mud up. And so don't take it as a sign of things not happening for you, but continue to take it as a positive sign that you're bypassing a level after the other to get to what you want. And you do have the plants here, which makes me understand as well that there's another idea to balance this. Yeah, it's all about ideas here. To rebalance your emotions back. And that is understanding that remember that what we just discussed, that it goes through a process in order to blossom. And so within this process, even if things are ruined, lost, didn't work out, it causes huge disappointment, that's not the end, unless you decide, as previously, that it was the end. And so you'll be more emotionally calm and maybe won't have to take decisions that would make it even more difficult for you if you realize that it's okay for things to spill, it's okay for things to get lost midway, or it's okay for disappointment to happen, because it's never the end. If you fuel your mind with ideas that, fine, this didn't work out, I'll find another way to do it. That didn't happen, that's okay. I'm always going to find a way. And your shadow says, you have that power, 1,000%. And I will always find another way to regrow what I lost, to re-find another opportunity. And so it's never the end. And so in the light, your thoughts are more strategic. What can I do about this situation? What is this situation teaching me for me to rise above it? There is always the constructive criticism or constructive questions. What is this teaching me? What can I do about it? How can I find another opportunity? Questions that move you forward. Questions that move you forward, thoughts and strategies that help you move forward. And there's, no matter how much you think you completely lost, you haven't. Because what the Five of Cups always teaches us, the symbolism in the Five of Cups teaches us that there is always another upright opportunity that you're not seeing. There is always another way, another chance, another thing to get. And so your shadow is inviting you to use its power in the light by always thinking, what did I learn? What can I do to move forward? If this is not the end, then in that case, what can I do to get what I want and deserve? These thoughts will be the healing thoughts of allowing you to have balanced emotions, because you will be less and less attached in a subconscious level to something, because your mind is teaching it, or your rational mind is now teaching it, that there's always a way out. There's always a cup upright. There is always hope. There is excuse me. There is always an opportunity. There is always an opportunity for growth and to resurface back and blossom. There is always. And you're lucky that you have that power. In fact, it's probably why your fire is in balance. That power is giving rise to your fire, to your power, and your passion to get what you want. You just want to balance all the other elements with it. And so here the water and the air work together, re-strategizing your thoughts in the right direction. How then can I get it? What's another way to get it? What is this teaching me so that I can do it better? What am I missing? What other hidden? See, that it's about the hidden. The key is in the hidden. What is in the hidden? Where is the hidden opportunity in all of what's happening that I'm not seeing, that I'm not grasping, that I can use to my advantage? So that's the water and the water and the air. Now there's another hidden key with the earth. The earth is right next to playfulness, and this is one of your biggest keys that your shadow wants to teach you here. There are two ways to work: the Emperor in reverse and the Emperor upright. There is working effortlessly, with like having vitality effortlessly and thus moving very quickly. And there is work towards what you want, feeling tired, feeling angry. Can you see your card? I'm so sorry. Feeling tired, feeling angry, feeling resentful. Do you see how this Emperor is vibrant? This Emperor is tired. This Emperor is, I want to say annoyed, definitely not enjoying this. And you can see an Emperor who's enjoying their emperorhood. So the reason I keep talking about enjoying is because here you've got Venus in Sagittarius with playfulness. And that's where I'm getting here with the key. There are two ways to go about creating something for yourself, or doing something achieving something for yourself, or putting an effort towards something. And that is either by endurance or by finding a way slowly to enjoy it. The key is not to enjoy what is readily and easily for us to enjoy. The key is to enjoy let's call it the darkness, the difficulty. Because when we learn or start putting our effort to try to enjoy, putting effort into trying to enjoy what we don't necessarily like, is the key to genuinely growing and moving forward in life. Do we enjoy vacations? Absolutely. It's so easy to do that. Do we enjoy a nice ice cream? Absolutely. It's very easy to do that. It's in the wisdom of learning to put effort and creativity in trying to enjoy that which we have to do, which is necessary, that we then learn to grow. So, for example, if you gotta do your homework every day, or if you gotta finish some tasks in your work every day, and you only rely on your resilience, at some point you're really gonna feel burnt out. It's about finding ways to enjoy what you are doing. So let's say there is a task that you don't like at work, for example. So you start finding a pen or two that you really love and you're excited about using. Some colors, maybe a nice notebook that you're excited to use. And you start having fun with these. That's not gonna make it all good, but it's a beginning to being creative and finding ways in which you can do that task. If you are like cleaning or cooking, maybe you wanna listen to a podcast that you really love. Using your commute time, if you're not driving, of course, to read that book that you finally wanted to read. Maybe turning your exercise into a mental game that allows you to have more fun as you're going through it. This is something for you to figure out. What do you enjoy? But the key here, the most important key, lies in your vitality and being able to move forward effortless and get there in time. Not just through these. These are very important, of course. But it has to do also with how you approach what you need to do, and to find enjoyment. Like perhaps today, it's probably not going to happen overnight, but today you have an idea, you can write it down and start to apply it. And then after a week, you're like, oh, I can do that too, and write it down. Oh, I can wear that nice dress. Oh, I can do this and that. I can do it in that way. And the more you put your attention towards how you can enjoy doing what you really don't like there, you'll move from the energy of trying to push through and pure resilience on its own to making it easier to do, where you might even, it's crazy to hear now, but you might just come to a point where you really enjoy doing that. And that's not like through just a one-time exercise of asking your mind, how can I make this fun? But it's a continuous process, and it keeps improving and improving and improving by time until you find yourself genuinely enjoying what you are required to do during that phase of your life to achieve that important goal, it seems to you, or important wish. That will change who you are as a person, where you finally learn not to get things by force and feeling empty in the soul as you do it. Making choices that may not be good, especially for you, and suffering, most importantly, through it all, just to try to get it. And so there has to be balance in the four elements. You seem to be doing pretty well in the fire, the water, and the air together, to remind yourself of staying calm and learning what this process is trying to teach you, along with gamifying or enjoying that process of going after what you want, because this will allow you to go through it smoothly and quickly. So that's not the only thing your shadow wants to tell you about your question. You have 3 more cards. Let's see what they are. So you've got the Empress upright. Beautiful. You've got the 7 of Swords in reverse. And you've got the Hanged Man in reverse. We can push them there. There's something common here between these two energies. Stuck, or being in place at least, not stuck. The 7 of Swords can be associated with escape. Here in reverse, it shows that you are being held down or weakened by either ideas, habits that are keeping you in place. Yeah, is there movement? Yes, because the 8 of Swords, it could have been the 8 of Swords. 8 of Swords is actually being stuck. Here you're not stuck. It seems like here there is maybe slow movement, or not exactly going in the direction that you are desiring. Or it could be not moving as quickly as you're thinking, or perhaps experiencing a lot of resistance. And that is due to the very ideas and the habits that are causing this rusting and resistance. So much so that it seems to you like it's normal almost with how this looks. That type of resistance is starting to become the normal feeling, and perhaps it's fueling to you wanting what you want more. So the Hanged Man in reverse is like, don't get worked up, stay calm, remember that every change is in your hands. You can see the Hanged Man on the upper side is more confident. That's where you want to go, to stay calm and take every phase as it should. Remember, it's the mud that you're coming out of, and that it's normal to go through challenges and to learn what it wants to show us. And so to remain calm, it's always about remaining calm and seeing how to do things, the habits, the mindset. So it's basically pointing towards exactly what you are guided to change to get into that energy. And it's showing that if you do change these two, you won't feel the resistance anymore. You're going to feel like things are moving. But the most important thing that your shadow wants to show you here, if you change these energies, you will vibrate in the energy of abundance with the Empress, because your energy is already very powerful. Here, this talks about alchemy, manifestation. Your shadow is showing you, I can help you to be in your abundant energy if you integrate me with your light. And that is to use my power that you're already using, but with a lot of heavy emotions and negative thoughts that you're fighting, as well as efforts that you're fighting. You can use that power in the light. And if you do use that power in the light, that will answer your question of how can I get it? Always. You will be someone who lives in great abundance, and you will experience this energy effortlessly. It will move smoothly. You won't always wonder, why is it working with such resistance? When it starts working in such resistance, it's time to go right. There's imbalance here. What can I do about it? So that I can make it better? And how can I go about it with fun? How can I enjoy this process? These are your specific 2 keys from your shadow, my dear pile number 1, and how to attain that which you really desire. Get it in the fastest, most effortless way possible with a lot of vitality. And my dear pile number 1, this is exactly what I see as your shadow's answer to your burning question. I truly hope you've enjoyed your reading. If you have, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel so that you never miss a reading that I upload. And my dear pile number 1, I'll catch you in the next reading. Bye! Hi, pile number 2, welcome to your reading. Today we're taking a look at your answer or answers from your shadow about a burning question on your mind. So these are the decks that we will be using. If you're interested in knowing the names of any of them, as you know, I always list them down in the description box for you guys. And I also saw this one moving, so I'm going to take it. But very quickly, let me introduce your pile to you. Your crystal is the tiger's eye. Your significator card is the metal tiger with release your attachments. And if you've picked your pile using your zodiac signs, then in that case, the signs for this pile are Sagittarius, Libra, Cancer, and Gemini. Welcome to your reading, guys. If these are not your zodiac signs, as I always remind you, please don't worry about it. It's just another way for others to pick their pile as well. Follow your intuition, and if after the reading you felt called to watching the pile with your zodiac sign, you can always do that. Okay, so let's check out your oracle cards first. Wow, so you've got vase with devastation, loss, recovery. This is big, I feel. Could it be talking about releasing your attachment towards a devastating moment in the past? Perhaps, just a guess at this point. I think we should wait and take a look at the rest of your cards. You've got Moon in Aquarius with communication. You've got Mercury in Cancer with introspection. Communication, Mercury. There's so much about communication here. And you've got businessman. Very interesting. So some of the keywords here are CEO, Wall Street, corruption, white collar crime, golden, parachute, con man, corporation, broker, investor, startup, company, billionaire, budget, capitalist. So yeah, okay. Okay. And you've got Ingwaz, the Ingwaz rune. The keywords here are seed of life with fertility, creation, and new beginnings. Okay, we shuffled your tarot deck. Let's now start pulling out your tarot cards to see your full message, you've got the King of Cups. I get a strong idea here watching this. Very cool. Okay, so you've got the King of Cups. You've got the Four of Wands. The Ace of Wands, creation, just like the seed of life. Wow, okay. You've got the Knight of Wands. The Ace of Pentacles. Two aces here. This must be talking about a question you have with regards a beginning, or how to start something, how to start a new page, how to get something. Because look at all the aces and the seeds here. Okay, well, you've got the Four of Swords. And you've got the Judgment card. It's an interesting Judgment card. Let me now check your full cards to see perhaps where is your question, so that we can start focusing on the answer. You come across to me as a very unique character, and I will explain why in a moment. But first, let's explore the obvious things that I'm seeing here. With the Judgment card, I am seeing that you are with a labyrinth here, in some form of pickle. You're stuck somewhere, almost like you're stuck in a capsule of time. And I say time because the rabbit reminds me of Alice in Wonderland, who's always running after time, and he's holding a key. So, by the way, where you are and how stuck you feel in that capsule of time has allowed you to blossom. Do you see that? It really allowed you to grow. Yeah, because with the Four of Swords, do you see, I feel like you're in a room, or at least the energy seems to be someone in a room all by their own. So that explanation of that pause, a long pause, that allowed you to really think about things. And imagine with the moon in Aquarius, flying fish, flying frogs, all sort of interesting animals, the way you were able to reimagine things and think about things and expand your mind, all moon in Aquarius, has allowed for great growth. Judgment card. You've assessed your situation better. You've assessed the things that happen to you better. Yes. So although you are somehow stuck in this time capsule, it definitely allowed for great growth. Now it makes me think, what's your question? We're getting there. So talking about that capsule and the growth, this is because this is a time you're releasing your emotions and attachments and the difficulties that came from a huge moment, a breaking moment that shattered maybe your heart, a long memory of a moment of devastation. And you know, that moment could be in early childhood with the Ingwas rune on all the aces. It could be in your early childhood, but it's not necessary, of course. That's just a guess. I'm seeing the eggs, the seed, all reminding me of very early childhood. But, you know, I could be wrong. In any case, what I am sure about is that there was a moment of a powerful moment that happened in your life that seems to have been devastating, great loss or something that you've been working to recover. And you are, by the way, just so you know, you're really releasing a lot of that, and it's leading with the tiger's eye and the tiger here to so much personal power. Now, your question. What's your question? Your question seems to be something around your emotions with the King of Cups. Something around your emotions, something about your healing, or something about becoming. So I'm guessing your question has to do with how can I become who I want to be? How can I heal that which I feel in order to be fresh me again, or to become more powerful, to get into your power? I think your question has to do with that. Because although you've grown a lot, you still feel like you've grown, you've blossomed, you still feel like you are stuck. And there's something about your focus on how do I get out of this timeline, or is time running out while I'm still there? Yes, I really think your question has to do with healing. And it's your shadow that is answering this burning question with regards to your healing. And I think your healing, although you've grown a lot, there seems to be like a confusing part that you're not seeing. Like, I've grown a lot, I've become more powerful, but there's something that I'm not figuring out. Like, why can't I get out of this phase of healing? Why am I so stuck in there? What's so difficult about it? Why can't I? Maybe you're looking to become more practical, less emotional, or the other way around, because we've got the Aquarius and Cancer. You seem to want to now grow. Yes, you seem to want to grow. Judgment card, which is what the Judgment card is about, growing. So your shadow is showing you an interesting dichotomy in how you think about things. And I want to show you that, which I was very surprised to see at the very beginning. Moon in Aquarius, but Mercury in Cancer. So Moon in Aquarius, as you know, of course, this is like high level of detachment from drama, from emotions, that allows Aquarius people, or Moon in Aquarius people, to think logically about things. It gives them a focus on the truth, on finding a point of view of the world, finding the truth, and with an absolute unbiased approach. It allows them to think without any of these attachments, and to finally give you a reasoned response, offering this intellect, giving you an intellectual solution, right? And so this detachment allows them to be creative, it allows them to be thinkers, it allows them even to be dreamers. Because they're so focused on the truth, the solution, the idea, without being attached to anything. Their biases, their point of view, what they wish and hope the direction would be, nothing, none of that. Purely focused on what the solution is, what the truth is. And that's why they are able to give you this intellectual response or solution, this reasoned response. Now, on the other hand, Mercury in Cancer, they experience their intellect through like a filter of emotions, an emotional filter. It's almost like they experience intellect or thoughts through emotions. It's like they feel their thoughts, right? Rather than think them. So this is the dichotomy that I'm showing you here, that I meant your shadow, wanted to show you. They want to show you this dichotomy. Why? A business person makes something happen in order to get the results that they want. So is this description of you, or is this advice? No, this is a description of two states that you get into. And you can see them here. You see the birds on the mind. So free thinker, the bird can stand, it can go, freedom. You're not attached to any thoughts. You're allowing them to roam and come back freely so that you find the truth. While Knight of Wands is only focused on their desires, only focused on emotion. You want both, right? You want to have a balance of both. Sometimes be in that state and sometimes allow yourself to understand your emotions. Here the eyes are open to introspect, really open, the Aquarius energy of thinking and imagining and letting your mind, go whichever direction it wants. And here the eyes are closed, getting in, feeling the emotions. And do you see that? One eye's open, one eye's closed. This confirms that your shadow is asking you to do both at the same time. So I feel like sometimes you get into that state, and at other times you get into the other. And your shadow is trying to show you that it's not one or the other. You will grow exponentially, come out of this time capsule of you're wondering why are you stuck in this, like you've grown so much, why are you still suffering from something maybe? Why aren't you still in your full capacity? And that is doing both at the same time. You know how when you close one eye and open the other, and you still learn how to do that when you were a child? It's easy now, but I feel like you are advised by your shadow to find your true personal power. It's like you've grown a muscle in that hand and you've grown a muscle in the other. And now it's time you take these two things that you've learned and trained on their own together. So you've learned two skills and they're a little bit opposite. You know how when they tell you scratch on your tummy and go around your head, you know that exercise? It's like on its own, you're able to access a form of power in a situation. And now your shadow's saying, use both. If you use both simultaneously, this is when it's going to click for you and find that personal power that you are looking for. Because you are nearly there. It's like the businessman who's capable of putting the right things together in order to get a goal. In fact, I remember hearing different business people. One of them was the investor of Alibaba. I forgot his name. And he was once saying, I'm the, I think something along the lines of the stupidest person in the room. I'm like, all my employees or all my managers are more intelligent than me. All I know how to do is get the best, make sure they collaborate properly so that they get the results that I need. I don't know how to do this. I don't know anything about, I think he said something about along the lines of, I don't know anything about the internet or something, something like that. I don't know about this. I don't know about that. I get the best from this, make sure they collaborate in harmony, and I get my results. So a businessman is someone who knows how to put things together. So identify what is needed, put things together in order to make that transaction work. So it's like your shadow is saying, you're nearly there and I'm not in your way. Which we'll talk about how your shadow is saying, how it's talking about the pain. But your shadow is saying you've been able to grow a lot, almost like integrate so much of me into your light, the light and the shadow. You see the tiger, the light and the shadow. You've integrated so much, and you've grown two important skills, one mental and one emotional, or maybe one has helped with the other, or both helped each other. I don't know, but you've grown two very powerful skills. You've reached or integrated two powerful things. One in the way that you think, and the other in the way that you feel. And now you're guided to, as mentioned, work these two at the same time. That will expand and help you grow. Now, before we expand on this idea, because I'm sure you're scratching your head, and I'm like, I really want to help you there. I'm sure as we explore, you'll get more guidance from your shadow on how to integrate these two, what exactly these two things are. But just to give a complete picture of what your shadow is saying, there's also something about now it's time to release the pain. So release could be crying it out or allowing it to express itself so that it's fully out of your system. Or it could be holding on to the memories of the past, holding on to the same visions, repeating the past in your head, asking why would this happen to you? Why? It's like your shadow saying now it's genuinely the time to pull your emotions out. If you release them properly, and then move on to let the past be in the past. Because you have outgrown it and you're nearly going to step out. And so that's genuinely in the past. It's like in the now and in the future, it doesn't exist anymore. To explore these two energies, the two skills that you've acquired, so that I can truly help you out in this reading with what your shadow wants to show you, because the main message is to integrate that mental skill and that emotional skill that you have created, being fully in touch with your emotions, and as well as being able to think purely without any biases or emotions, are two skills that you have built. But let's explore what they are exactly. Let me use the help of another deck for that. Okay, this one will really help me attune to what these two powers that you've recently learned or grown to have. So, what is the moon in Aquarius energy for pile number 2 that their shadow is referring to, please? And what is Mercury in Cancer, and what their shadow means in pile number 2 with regards to what their shadow means? Oh, you've got 5 here. Okay. So, moon in Aquarius. What is that skill that you've acquired mentally? Page of Pentacles. Look at the Hanged Man upright. Very cool. It's like you've unlocked a new way of thinking that was the very thing that used to keep you hanging there, hindering your growth. The Hanged Man with temperance. Something about the Hanged Man. Something was keeping you stuck mentally. Good for you. You've got the Strength card and again the Sword. Mentally, mental strength. It caused mental strength that will live with you, like will be your greatest protectors and will move you forward in life for the rest of your life, because the Sphinx is old. It's been there for thousands and thousands and thousands of years. So this is where I get the idea that this is a mental shift that will give you power for the rest of your life. So it's giving you great health as well with the Empress. It's good for your mind and your body, that shift in mindset that you've gone through. Good for you. And you've got the King of Swords and you've got the Hierophant in there. So you've changed an idea or you've learned something that you've applied. So let me try to analyze what this power is. When you experience this stuck in thought, you've learned to be calm. You've learned to find balance when that mental challenge happens. So, for example, if that mental challenge is feeling anxious, for example, you've learned when you're anxious to slow down and find your balance and to offer yourself a new way of doing it. You offered yourself a new way of doing it. So you're like, okay, I'm experiencing, for example, anxiousness. Now I'm not gonna engage in this. I'm gonna feel balanced. And instead, with the Hanged Man upright, I'm offering myself this solution, whatever that solution is. So it doesn't have to be anxiousness. It could be a way of thought. So maybe you were stuck in your old patterns of thought and then you go, I'm going back into that, for example, negativity, or I'm going back to blaming this or blaming that. I'm going back to this or that or the other. You found the mental fortitude to, what is it called? To block out emotions, almost, to isolate. No, not block out, my apologies. To isolate all the emotions that could be affecting you, or the biases, old ideas, anything that is not of truth. You've realized to identify what's right and what's wrong. And when you find yourself getting into these thoughts, like it's shifting back, you go, you realize it. You're aware of it. And you're like, I'm back into that thought. Let me very quickly do that solution. And with that, you've built a lot of mental fortitude. Even the King of Swords is mental fortitude. The Hierophant, you've now not just become a student of it, you can even teach it. This has become so strong. And with the Jed here in the sword, Jed is the backbone. This type of thinking or this type of power has become one of your backbones in the way that you now think, in the mental strength that you have found. So that's your power there, what you've been able to reverse. Absolute reversal. It's like, I'm in that state. No, I'm going to do that instead. And that has become a great strength of yours, okay? So that process, we'll call it that process that you've learned to do mentally. That reversal process that you've learned to do mentally. Wow. Great job. Pile number 2. Okay, yeah, no wonder you've got the tiger's eye. Strength. Okay, so let's now take a look at your emotional power. What did you do there? So you've got the 10 of Wands in the background. You've got the 10 of Cups. Wow, you've reversed something, a heavy emotion into something that makes you feel very happy. Wow, pile number 2. Wow. No wonder. Now I understand why you've got the 4 of Wands. We didn't even talk about it. I was like, this girl looks like they're in Candyland. She looks happy. So you were able to emotionally reverse something that used to be heavy in your heart to now you feeling very happy. Wow, I'm so curious. What is that you were able to do? And then what's that then? Recovery. I think I need to be patient. Okay, so you've done something emotionally here. Whoa, look at that. The 7 of Cups. And that's the background of the 7 of Wands. Again, you were able to look at all of the celebration here. It's like these people where you would challenge the figure of the 7 of Wands. Here, these figures are celebrating them. And the 7 Cups are all the things you've imagined. So I feel like you were able to achieve so many things that you are proud of, and maybe others are celebrating about you. You were able to reverse many challenges you were able to reverse many challenges to things that you once dreamt of, now that you have. I don't know how this relates to Mercury in Cancer, but we're getting there. You've got the Wheel of Fortune with the Magician. You've become very fortunate. Is this talking about how your emotions are allowing you to manifest what you want? Wow. Wow, okay. This is giving us great perspective. Okay. What a power. That's power for sure. Wow. Did you heal? Then what's that? We'll find out. Ace of Cups. Wow. Like, I need to be now open-minded in how your shadow wants you to put these two together and what this means in that case. And you've got the 6 of Pentacles in the background of the 6 of Cups, because look at that. 6 of Cups is like childhood, and 6 of Pentacles is like giving. So you were able to give your inner child many things that it once dreamt of. That's manifestation, my friend. See, one of the awesome things about Mercury in Cancer, they're so attuned to their emotions. They don't suppress it. They allow it to flow. They understand it so well and experience it. And so that allows them, and that's why the water signs, yes, absolutely. The water signs, they become great spiritual people. And look at the development, the Pisces in the North Node. That's it. Because they process through their emotions rather quickly. They go like Scorpio, they go deep. Cancer, they allow themselves to feel it, and so on. That they become spiritual rather quickly. And look at that. Your attunement to your emotions has allowed you to manifest, experience magic. That's what your shadow is pointing towards. It's allowing you to feel things and manifest what you desire into existence. And you have wished for many things in your childhood that you are now becoming. If you look back, I'm sure you already know here, if you look back in retrospect, you will see that many of the things you once envisioned as a child, you now have, you now created, you now are. So that in that case, the 10 of Wands and the 10 of Cups. Oh, also that process, this introspection of feeling through your emotions has allowed you to process a lot of the heavy emotions and turn them into something happy early on. So you experiencing your emotions, the power of you fully getting immersed in your emotions has allowed you to release the heavy emotions, and so you've healed so much. That's why you've blossomed. Oh my God, I love your reading. And that process makes you, with the 10 of Cups, a happy-go-lucky person. So there's a background of a happy-go-lucky person, and although there's still heaviness and there's still things that you are guided to release, I feel in your reading that there's something about being nearly there. It's just everything, it's almost like everything is ready, you've blossomed. It's just about learning how to work them together. So now we've learned about your two big powers that your shadow is pointing towards. Your ability to feel your emotions, but detach from them. Is your shadow kidding here? How am I supposed to figure this out? Come on. So you're able to feel through your emotions, all while detaching. What? How can you do that? I need to think. It was indeed that open eye, closed eye. That's tricky. Or at least I think. Let's follow your guidance. Well, at least we figured it out, right? Not seeing exactly how these are supposed to come together. So what do? We ask. Let's get into the process of asking now. Put everything back now that we've understood these two messages. It's like exactly like the businessman, knowing what the demand is, knowing what is needed, and putting them together to get the result that you want. That's the trick. Right, so let's explore this one. We're getting there. So I feel like because of this moment, this pain, let's call it pain, that happened in the past, when you experience a specific situation, because it does say release your attachment, so this is what you need to release from your shadow in order to get out of this capsule, finally be free. When you experience a similar energy, this doesn't work together, because you're either too in your emotions and it hurts, or you are fully thinking about it logically, that so that you're able to detach and deal with the situation, but you're not able to fully manifest what you want out of it or be happy. Yeah, you're not getting the results that you want out of it by being fully detached. What's an example of that? Like when you're detached, you're not able to get... Like the fastest example that I have, for example, is let's say you have a deep wound in the area of love. That's the easiest example that's coming up to just translate the energy. If you have deep wound in love, then let's say you want to fall in love, but when that happens, you start feeling all of the pain pertaining to it, and so you detach in order to deal with it. But when you detach, then you don't experience the emotional fulfillment, for example, that comes from it, or the emotions that allow you to achieve what it is that you want. And so this is why they need to come together. And so you've learned how to do that on its own. You learned how to do that on its own. Let's now ask, how can you put these two energies together? And I'm starting to understand now, when you put these two energies together, you will then finally be able to release this pain or the shadow from this pain, integrating your shadow and light. Okay, so then this becomes our focus now. How can you integrate the two? I will be using the two decks here to get the answer to that question. How can you work with these two together? So let's pull out some cards here. One. Okay, looks like this one and that one. Right, so you've got the Four of Pentacles. You keep getting this maze. You go down only to find yourself up. You go down only to find yourself up. It's like, how can I go down? Yeah, it keeps going back, repeating. You're not out of something. It's like at the moment, something keeps repeating itself. It's like a lesson that you're not sure how to get out of. Although you've thought and expanded and imagined and manifested, it's just not entirely happening. It just keeps going round and round. Four of Pentacles in place. Okay. The Ten of Swords. It seems like there's an innocence to you, and it keeps hurting your inner child, I would say. There's an innocence to you when it comes to this situation, and it keeps hurting you. There's like a shock. How does this happen? It keeps putting you back in that shock state of extreme pain. Ten of Swords is like the ultimate, like the most experience of pain, at least mental pain. So every time a similar situation happens, you don't experience the little bit of it, the diluted energy of it as it is, but then you experience the ultimate pain of it, giving you that shock again that you've experienced from your childhood. And thus, you're stuck there. Which means that you experience it, I was going to say emotionally, but that's the Ten of Swords. Maybe your mind automatically hits a nerve. And the Three of Swords, it's hindering your growth. Because the Three of Swords is pain. Again, it puts you back to that pain. This figure is crying. So it puts you back to that shock, that intense emotions or tense hit trigger puts you in a lot of pain that is hard to deal with. Let's look at the rest of the cards. Here you've got the Three of Wands. The Fool card with the Hierophant. The Jed, you're equipped with new thought with the Hierophant. Remember, the backbone is the key. Okay? And the Hierophant is relaxed. This is also the Emperor, who is meditating in the Emperor's chair. Or actually, this is the Emperor meditating in the Hierophant's chair. Your power being more relaxed. Using what you've learned to be more relaxed. That's the power. The power is in being relaxed. Your power is in being relaxed. That's the key here. By using your key learning, that is what will move you forward with great power. Three of Wands is launch. Okay, we're asking how you can put these two together. This figure is different from the Four of Pentacles because this is more like a lack of groundedness. They go down only to go up. And then they go down only to go up. So this is lack of groundedness. Extreme pain that puts you off. That takes your groundedness from you. And so, if we were to put these two together, this means in order for them to work together, the Emperor is a 4, just like the Four of Pentacles. So let's keep these two together. The Three of Swords is a 3, like the Three of Wands. So let's keep these two together. And although this is a 10, it goes down to 1. I do see both zeros here. So we're putting these two together. Talking about putting things together when this is about putting them together. So that's interesting how this is coming along. Let's put them together. Surprisingly, when you do feel that pain, allow it to happen, which may be very initially counterproductive to what you've maybe learned here. You've learned to start a mental process here, right? You've learned to start a mental process here. Let's just keep these two to the side so we can reference them. So it might look counterproductive because you've learned to reverse something here. You've learned to reverse it mentally, and now you want to learn to reverse it emotionally. You've done it there. And so when you release your emotions, this is the beginning with the Three of Wands. This is the beginning of training yourself how to do it simultaneously. How will you know if you don't start to do it? And so, when you feel the pain, allow it to be. Allow it to happen. That is exactly the moment how you will release this pain. In the moment, allow yourself to experience it. And it might be very weird to hear, but stay with me. We'll figure it out. So, yeah, allow it to happen. Allow that pain. Allow yourself to feel that pain, for sure. Allow that shock to happen. It might be initially, look at that. Oh my God. It might be initially super painful to experience. But that is the key to your new beginning. And so this is saying you've learned that mental exercise that you're doing here. Now, you want to learn a new exercise. When you experience that pain, and look at that, these figures are giving us their back, which means experience that pain, but you can experience it privately, right? So it's okay to experience that. If you're like wondering, well, but that's private, absolutely. Experience it privately, but allow it to manifest through you and to be released. Because by time, what is a 10 will go down to a 0 through that release. That shock will be released, and by time, the magnitude of that shock will decrease and decrease and decrease. allowing you to stand on stronger grounds. In that moment, you will now be able to apply the key that you've learned. It will be so diluted that you will then be able to apply these two energies at the same time. And so this means there needs to be a release of emotions. You have a great power. That power allows you to manifest what you want. You're so in tune with your emotions. And you've got such strong power there that it allows, so much so that it has before, previously, allowed you to transform a lot of heavy emotions into great happiness. A lot of it. This is not new to you at all. And so, just as you've done that exercise mentally, now in that area, which you probably may not have gone through, just like many things you've gone through, because this one requires you to be in that painful situation which you may have avoided, always pushed yourself out of, to find your emotional balance. But it's that processing of emotions that always allowed you with this Four of Wands to level up and feel happy. And so now is the time to face that monster, to face that situation, allow it to trigger that pain, allow it to trigger that shock, and privately process it, go through it fully. That is what needs to happen, as your shadow is saying, to integrate that final shadow. Because as this processes, you'll now be able to stand on stronger ground to now go back to that risky situation of now doing the two together, or that uncomfortable, I don't want to say risky, uncomfortable, new way of doing things, integrating the two. When this is released, you will be able now to start doing this new exercise of being both, having the two keys now in your hands easily. The Jed, that strong mental fortitude exercise that you have gotten into before, along with being in your emotions, being in your spiritual power that you have, you will be able to hold these two together. This will now finally allow you to be grounded with the fours. It will allow you to both experience your spirituality and be in your power. You will no longer be going round and round and round. You went round and round and round because there were unprocessed emotions. And this way you find your true power. True power lies in being strong, I would say, with the Emperor on everything on the outside, and the Hierophant and how it's meditating, it's your spiritual power. You'll be able to, as a summary, bring these two powers together. And when you have these two powers together, you'll be calm, you'll be powerful, you'll be unbeatable, because there's something about you being very ready to get into your personal strength, which you're like there, you've blossomed. And then you're asking, well, with all of that growth, how come I'm still stuck? It is, my dear pile number 2, about now putting them together. The thing that is hindering them from coming together is your allowance. You allowing yourself to release a specific pain in its situation. To face it, feel that pain, and in private, release it. By time, as mentioned, this won't be so shocking anymore. And you will have the power automatically to play these two powers together. That is the ultimate stability and power. And my dear pile number 2, this is exactly what I see in your reading. I wish you the best of luck with every bit of my heart. You're nearly there. You were nearly there. It's really all about facing it so that they both play out together. All the best of luck with my heart. This was your reading, and if you've enjoyed it, please give me a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel so that you never miss a reading that I upload. And my dear pile number 2, I'll catch you in the next reading. Bye! Hi pile number 3, welcome to your reading. Today we're taking a look at answers from your shadow. You've got 2 cards here regarding a burning question on your mind. Can't wait to get into your reading. These are the decks that I'll be using. If you're interested in knowing the names of any of them, you'll find that I always list them down in the description box for you guys. Okay, so very quickly, let me introduce your pile to you. Your crystal is the beautiful Mookaite Jasper. Your significator card is the Fire Rat with the keywords light and shadow. How fitting for today's reading. And if you've picked your pile using your zodiac signs, then in that case, the signs for this pile are Aries, Pisces, Leo, and Capricorn. Welcome to your reading, guys. If these are not your zodiac signs, please don't worry about it. Always follow your intuition. This is just another way for others to pick their piles as well. You know, after the reading, if you also felt called to watching the pile with your zodiac sign, you can always do that. But follow your intuition first if this is your preferred way of picking your piles. Right, so let's get straight into it. You've got rune stones, ancient wisdom, fate, and divinity. There is something about you in this pile that makes me feel like you're an old soul with ancient wisdom. And there's something about you being enlightened and getting very near to integrating your light and your shadow. Do you see that? Okay, so let's keep that right there and explore, because first I need to figure out what your question is and see what your answer is. You've got Mercury and Libra with consideration, looking at both sides of things. Libra is an air sign. So you want to have a balanced thought, perhaps. Look at the 2 perspectives. In any case, let's wait. Oh, the 2, the light and the shadow. Just picked it up when we put it right under it. Okay, so you've got zombie, automation. I feel like there's a shadow that's going on automation here. Like it gets triggered from the brain and it just starts working, it starts happening, it starts doing its thing, and perhaps you haven't picked up on it yet. Just an observation, I could be wrong. You know, the reading takes us all different places when we look at the cards, but just an initial impression. Here you've got beach, and some of the keywords are drowning, lifeguard, submarine, but that's like at the shore. Beach ball, nudist, holiday, surfboard, scuba diving, yeah, tanning oil, night swim. It's in the morning though. So anyways, these are some of the keywords I see here. Night and day, light and shadow. Okay. And you've got the Ansu's rune. I'm telling you guys, there is something about your soul. You've got direct communication here with divine. The Ansu's, right? Ansu's rune has to do with, of course, communication, God, Odin, you know, your connection with the universe. So yeah, it's like you're directly connected here, and you're integrating a very important shadow. It's like that last thing for a transcendence or a closure towards something. Any case, let's take a look at your tarot cards and see what this is all about. So, so you've got the Four of Pentacles. It's like, don't rush. Do you see how this figure there is like pushing this person in, rushing them? But there's something about this card. I remember when I read this Four of Pentacles, it was talking about this businessman who was collecting all of this wealth. And I think the card was expressing like, what does it matter holding on to it so much when it's time to go? Like, they've built factories, they've polluted maybe the earth, they've amassed, and they're holding on so much to their earthly belongings. What about when it's time to look at what matters more? Like in this card, I remember it was saying it doesn't matter anymore if they're going on to a heavier karma. The things that they're holding on to. In any case, interesting card. Let's continue. You could be holding on to something. It doesn't have to be like wealth or pentacles, but maybe it's talking about holding on to something very valuable to you. You know, when we're nearer to transcend, the work isn't really easy. It's much easier in some aspects because you've grown a lot of wisdom, but also from another aspect is that thing that you now need to face and let go of your possession of, to grow out of. So it's not an easy one, but it's definitely one that you can let go of with all of the wisdom and the growth and the spiritual powers that you have. So that's the light and the shadow. Could be a little difficult in some aspect, but will be very easy in another aspect. Yeah. Right. So, you know, it's kind of like that example that makes us laugh. Oh, life is not easy, but it's nicer to cry in a Mercedes. I think that's how the saying goes. So it's kind of like, yes, you have to face your shadow, but you've got so much sophistication and wisdom and spiritual growth. You get what I'm trying to say. That will absolutely help you out with that. So you've got the Two of Pentacles. You can see a belly dancer here. Learning to work two things in harmony together. In a dance, universal dance. Look at that, as you've got the Death card. The Three of Cups. The Queen of Pentacles. It's almost like it's time to let something go that you really love for the sake of growth and transformation. Something that you've cared so much about. It's now time to let it go. And you've got the Queen of Wands because it's going to give you so much power with something that is important to you. So what's your question? Now that we just had a very quick look at the cards, what's your question, my dear pile number 3? Perhaps, how can I transform this situation? Maybe. Or how can I get along with something, someone, or some people? How can I, these two queens could be healing. How can you heal something? How can I have these two things at the same time? I think, how can I have these two energies at the same time, the yin and the yang? I want this so much, but I want to have something else as well. Let me think about it. Your mind wants two things in opposite directions. Yes, so that is actually quite true. You want one thing, but it seems like it opposes another. And you can't decide with Libra, Mercury in Libra. You can see the benefits of both. You understand that you want to heal or you want to transcend emotionally. You understand that you must release something important to you in order to grow. But at the same time, you are a little bit stuck because this is very important to you. And you're like, no, I don't want to let this go. I love this. I don't want to let it go. Or I'm comfortable with the Four of Pentacles. I'm comfortable with this. I don't want to let it go. And so there's a dance here. You're dancing in your place. You're not able to go where you want to go because you're enjoying something so much, but you keep looking at it because you want to go in that direction. And so, like, dancing in place, not going anywhere. And so your question is, what can I do about this situation when I understand that I must release something in order to grow, but it's not easy for me? Maybe you don't want it. Maybe it's just comfortable. It's not easy for me to let it go in order to grow. Especially that what you're holding on to seems to be a little bit what you think is out of your hands. It just happens so automatically. You're not able to grow. It's like a trigger maybe. It's an emotional blanket habit or something. You're like, it just nearly happens so automatically. And I enjoy maybe the safety it gives me. But at the same time, I'm so far from where I want to be and how I want to heal and how I want to celebrate my growth and healing and be amongst those who've achieved this unique thing. And you understand that you must, you understand. It's like you're not asking, you know you must get rid of something, but it's not easy for you. You know, like for example, someone who wants to feel healthier, talking about healing, right? So they know they must let go of the comfort junk food, for example, that they're so holding on to. And it's not easy because when the time comes to take that decision, you, in that example, first thing that you would do is get straight to that comfort. It's just automatic, nearly happens automatic. Maybe all of the things in your life push you to do that. Maybe you don't have a system to cook, so that's the easiest thing and the cheapest and so on. And so it's easier to get that. If it's a goal that you have, that you want to achieve, an important goal that you have to achieve, when it comes the time to jump into that task, you're like, but no, I don't feel like it. I would rather be comfortable and do the things that I love. That's what I'm picking up. And so it's a debacle. You're really wondering, how can I get out of what feels to me like an automatic energy? And you're at the shore, but you're not sailing. You are between two worlds. You're not happy with what you're doing. You're looking afar at where you want to be, but at the same time, you're not releasing that because it makes you feel at least good in the moment. And that is what I'm seeing here with regards to a question, a burning question that you have. You want to get to a specific location, dream, place. How can I say it? A place as in not physical, but it could be physical. But I mean, you want to get to a specific goal. That's it. You want to reach a specific goal. It will help you heal a lot. It will help you glow. It will help you have something substantial with the Queen of Pentacles, an important resource, for example. You will be so proud of yourself. It will make you the happiest. But in order, it's like long-term gratification versus short-term gratification. Exactly that. And you're standing at the shore, looking at your big dream, how it sparkles, how it's beautiful, and momentarily you feel so small in comparison to this huge dream. But that huge dream is not leaving you alone. It burns in the heart. It shines bright, and you know this is where you want to go. And there is a shadow pertaining to holding on to the very thing that is preventing you from moving forward. And that's why you remain at the moment on the shore. Look at that. The spear. The vulva in Norse mythology is like the witch. So your shadow wants you to use your psychic powers. Your power, you have a strong energy within you. A strong energy within your shadow that will help you manifest and have the power. With the Queen of Wands, will have the power to communicate with that desire to make way for you to leave it behind and move forward. So it's a spiritual power that will allow you to communicate with this desire so that you can finally put it to rest and move forward easily, smoothly, powerfully. And so you don't have to keep pushing that desire. It's getting in touch with that spiritual power that will communicate with this desire. Very interesting. Let's see what this is showing us. I think the answer for now will appear in your runes. How about we actually bring your runes down and we cast some runes and see what that answer is, how to communicate with that desire. Oh, thanks. So we've already got the Kanaz rune, harvest. Okay, how can pile number 3 communicate spiritually with their desire? I've got some in my hands. 1, 2, 3. Okay. So there's the line of runes. Let's take these out and see what this shows us. Kanaz, the Ingwaz rune, the Raido rune, and the Wunyu rune. Wunyu rune. Okay. Potential. There's potential that will lead to great bliss and will help you begin your new journey. So let's put it together. Let's put it together. Sorry, I keep saying Kanaz. I mean the Yera rune, not the Kanaz rune. So harvest. A cycle, not harvest, a cycle, going through a cycle. And place a seed, a cycle, like planting a seed, waiting for a cycle, going through that journey will result in bliss. Movement. It doesn't have to be journey, it could be movement. Movement is bliss. Movement will create abundance. Movement will create good luck, success. Movement will create success. It's a cycle. Just plant the seed. Okay. Right. Now that we understand that, we want to look at it from the psychic perspective that will communicate with your desire, right? Now that we've translated it, let's now look at it from that perspective. It's interesting that we've got the seed on one side and the harvest right next to it. So planting something and it will fully grow through a cycle. And that movement creates success. It's almost like the Queen of Pentacles with movement creates success. And with the Queen of Wands and the vulva, a seed turning into harvest. You know, with the seed turning into harvest, we keep forgetting that seeds have this magic power within them. We've taken this for granted. We place a seed in the ground and then we plant water. We take good care of it, and from the darkness, it takes all the nutrition that it needs, and it grows and it sprouts into harvest. So, it's a saying that this is not just outside work of trying so hard to work on your desire. There's also much easier spiritual work on the inside. That's the communication with the desire. So don't tackle it just from one end. Tackle it from both ends, outside and your inside. And so this means, of course, try to do as much as you can to do what's right. But remember, just like a seed, the magic is within. That's where the real magic is. A forgotten practice that you used to do in the ancient past, in one of your older lifetimes, that is a much smoother, easier process to help you go through this. And it's some form of connecting with a divine power. And so you might feel smaller if you look from the outside, but you're part of this whole thing if you look on the inside. This magical power involves feminine energy. You've got the belly dancing, the moons, third eye, involves envisioning, going in, envisioning yourself to do what you want to do. And so you're now working with both energies. You're taking the necessary action that you want to take on the outside, but take a few minutes in your day to go within, just like the seed, that magical power inside you, to envision yourself doing exactly what you want to do. And thus, by time, one after the other, as you imagine, you release your attachment to that desire, and you easily move towards being and becoming the person who takes you to the other side of exactly where you want to go. So your last shadow here, that huge one, is a bit tricky, and it requires a bit of the power, a lot of the power. That is the use from the very beginning that we've noticed. Remember when we said It might be difficult or tricky, but at the same time, you possess great power. In this pile, you have strong psychic powers, especially one of envisionment. That makes sense. The seed that turns into harvest. And so you've got that power. You're very adept at it. And so just as this is going out of control a little bit, or maybe a lot, you also possess very strong power to reverse it. And so, yes, do what is necessary. Remember, of course, movement creates success on the outside. But remember that a few minutes of powerful envision, a little bit of that magic that you got, of envisioning yourself, doing what you want to do, outside of your comfort zone, little by little, you will find yourself easily getting into that energy as you are awake, as you are taking the movement or the actions that you want to take to transform this situation. And this is going to transform your karma. It's going to allow you to face your fears. It's going to allow you to transform as a person. It will help you step outside of your comfort zone towards the very thing you're afraid of, to what is comforting you, allowing you to leave what is comforting you and actually step into the fire, step into that, to the fear. Change your life philosophy about it. Grow spiritually and easily crush that little desire that is standing in your way. And it's little, it's not big, but it's allowed to roam free for so long that it's gained power. And so it is genuinely about remembering your seed of life, your magic, that you've got that power within you. And the more you envision it, the more it shall appear in your life. You will find your balance that you are looking for, and you will be able to color yourself in the color of the environment and the world that you want to get into. My dear, pile number 3, this is a huge shadow, but it seems to me like that is the last. There's something about last. You get connected to the power of source. You become very powerful and bright. You've already, as a soul, gone through so much. You've learned so much. And this one may seem like it's not easy, but you can make it super easy with the power that you have right there. That took a little to figure out, but it's so clear. And so don't be dancing in place, standing at the beach, staring at a wish. Go get it for yourself. And if it's not that easy to do it first in the outside, work your magic on the inside. And perhaps your shadow has a clearer message in how you can envision it on the inside. Any clues, anything you're not seeing? So we've got the Empress. Oh, and look at that. Oh, sorry. Let me adjust that. So you've got the Empress and the 3 of Pentacles. Look at them working on each other. This person is envisioning some art on that person, and this person is doing the same here, and that person is doing the same there. Empress is creativity, by the way. Creativity and abundance. Is this person on the toilet? It seems like it. Releasing some old... Let's call it shadow. Releasing an old shadow. Through creativity. Working with your creativity. Look at how the eyes are open. Using your power to envision. So your shadow is saying you're a very creative person. You're able to paint, imagine, draw, create in your mind your it's almost like we didn't need to ask this question. Look at the synchronicity here. 3 3 3 3 3. Using your ability to work with your imagination comes very easily for you. And look, the more you envision, believe it or not, the more you release. What can I say? That's what's going on. The more you blossom. You work with your mind to repaint your story, repaint how you look when you do it, repaint how you act when you do it, repaint how the different colors that you want to see. Reimagine it in the way that you want. It's going to work. Your shadow is saying. Maybe a part of you doesn't believe it's that easy, but you've reached some mastery. You're an old soul. Trust in your powers. We've learned so much to depend on doing effort to get results. While that's absolutely true, we forget the internal efforts done. And you know, this is actually starting to be scientifically proven. You know that a science experiment that they've done with the, I think, volleyball team or basketball. No, it was a basketball team. There was a team that only practiced and another team that both practiced and envisioned. And as a result, the team that practiced and envisioned themselves practicing these moves, they've done much like a greater progress than the team who's just been practicing. So it's also scientifically proven to be true. When it comes to you, your imagination is vibrant. You focus and you create it into life. That's the Empress, creation, the energy of creation. And so your creativity makes things happen in life. Use that power that you have, my dear pal number 3. Your reading is simple, but powerful and effective to your situation. Your shadow is saying, stop trying to deal with it in the traditional way. That doesn't mean don't use the traditional route. But a higher power, far bigger results, come from your internal seed of creation. And that is simply to take some time to envision yourself doing things in a different way. Maybe envision yourself doing things responsibly, or envision the rewards, envision the cycle that you're going to go through, envision cleansing of that energy, envision how you're loyal to the actions that you want to take, envision how you're disrupting the same flow, the same old cycle, and creating another one. Envision your transformation, how you're transforming. Envision your balance, how you're becoming balanced. Envision the whole process. And envision yourself practicing doing the same thing that the things that you want to do in peace, with success. And this will transform the automation in your mind of something becoming very comfortably in one energy that it's almost automatic, to reframing that energy and making that other energy the one that's automatic, helping you release, or let's call it in a better way, integrate that shadow and light, where you use your potential in the light. A seed of potential finally comes into the light and manifests, allowing you to have what you want and to become the person that you are meant to be. A full glow up with the Queen of Wands. That's now in full automation. Use this power that you have in your hands. You are an old soul that has this magic. And your reading keeps repeating it. It ends there. You are super creative, and that allows you to release and grow as a person. And my dear pile number 3, all the best of luck with this process. As you can see, as tricky as it is, the answer was simple. You've got it in you. And the solution is also very simple because you have that power. And my dear pile number 3, this is exactly what I see in your reading. I truly hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, please give me a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel so that you never miss a reading that I upload. And my dear pile number 3, I'll catch you in the next reading.